I guess, a good lesson, because it's not gonna be.
It's not always gonna be.
It's not gonna be any easier.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on the video. Today we are going to go through this criterium. This is the Livermore Crit, but I wanted to play the little game that I made up last season. It's called What Would Wout Do? And I think we all know, of course, if Wout was in this criterium, he'd probably do something like this. But in any case, how the game works is I'm going to pause the video in a couple pivotal situations in the race. And I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think Wout would do? What would you do? And then I'm going to let the video play out and we're going to see what I did and talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you learned something. And let's see what we get with this. Alright, just to do a really quick setting the scene, as you can tell from the map, this is basically as straightforward as you can get for a criterium circuit. It's basically three corners. This fourth corner that we're on right now is basically just a swooping bend. But our plan going into this was we were going to go for a lead out. We did a pretty good lead out at Cal Aggie a couple weeks before this. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. And we were going to try to lead out my teammate Jacob. I think we had 5 guys here. And the defining feature of the day was it was very, very windy. So check out that arrow on the map. So basically just keep in mind that this back straight that we're heading into right now is a pretty stiff headwind. And then we had a crosswind in this section. And then coming into the start finish, it was kind of a cross tail. So with that wind, we knew it was going to be hard to control. And coming into the start finish, I just wanted to play this. You wanted to squeeze over to the right because that was a pretty good draft. You could feel it. And we're jamming on it. And then all of a sudden it just plugs up here and I almost run into the back of this rider in white. So that was a little bit of a moment. But the main riders that we were watching out for were Ryan from Mike's Bikes. You probably know Ryan from my videos, Jeff's videos. Very, very strong rider. King of the Mountain holder for the Mount Diablo descent, which is probably the craziest Strava file I've ever seen. He averaged 300 watts on like a 11-mile descent. And the other rider we talked about was Sam from Project 74, big Quadzilla sprinter guy. Again, been in some of my videos, I'll point him out. But yeah, there is a lot of other strong guys here, as there always is, but we were going to try to control and go for the lead out at the end. And that was not a good lap for me. I was getting all crossed up, so maybe I need to lay off the Zwift racing and up my bike handling skills. Alright, so I guess I should have mentioned my specific role this day was going to be the last guy in front of Jacob in the lead out. So Matt, Travis, and Zach were going to cover early moves and hopefully kill breakaways. And I was going to sit in along with Jacob and hopefully drop him off with about 200 meters to go. But it's annoying when you have other people in the race and they want to win also. And what's going on right now is we have a break of 5 up the road and we didn't really know who was in it. And I think that was one fatal error this day for us, was just not keeping track of who was in the breakaway. But people have changed teams and some people were just wearing all black jerseys, and it turned out to be a core of some of the strongest time trial riders we have in Northern California. So yeah, big no-no to miss that. But it's still really early. We're still only 10 minutes into this hour-long crit. And I guess this will be my first scenario. So what do you think Wout would do if he knew that 5 strong riders were up the road with about a 15-second gap? Would he put his teammates on the front and start chasing instantly? Or would he try to sit back and maybe lean on other teams? All right, so first of all, who do we even have to chase? So we have Travis, Matt, Zach, me, and Jacob. Travis, Matt, and Zach, they have a green light to chase because that was their job and they were going to be earlier on in the lead out. Jacob, obviously red light to chase. He's our protected sprinter. And then I'm kind of in this weird boat where I was hoping not to chase, but you're going to hear me talk to Matt right here.
We can't burn our guys on this. We have to lean on other teams.
All right, so that basically sums up how I felt. And saying it out loud, I think, was also a bad thing because people around me heard that and they're like, oh, if Taeroon's not going to chase, why should I chase? So yeah, bad call on my part. I think Wout would have put his team on the front and been decisive. He wouldn't have been nonchalant about this break up the road. It's better to get it back and then deal with the counters than to have something guaranteed up the road that you aren't a part of. All right, we're going to fast forward here, but my teammates did try to chase. Travis, Matt, and Zach, they did a lot of work, but it was one of those races where it was really dysfunctional. There were people attacking over them. The crosswind was not helping for this. And yeah, we really were not making a concerted dent into that breakaway up the road. All right, here's our next choose your own adventure scenario. So we're halfway through. Chasing really isn't making a dent in the advantage of the breakaway. What would you do? Would you try to attack your way up to the front, or would you just keep sitting in? So I winded up because I knew that there was going to be an attack coming from the other side of the road. You can see them there on the left side of the road. And I just wanted to make sure that we were a part of it. And again, this is kind of not a very productive way of eating into the advantage of the breakaway because our speed is going to be like really staccato. You know, it's going to be 32 and then all of a sudden it's going to go down to 22 when people stop chasing, and then people will attack again and it'll go to 32 and then 22. And it sounds too simple to be true, but the person that wins a bike race is the person that has the highest average speed for the time. So definitely better to be smooth and stable with your speed than to do these staccato attacks. And I just think it's desperation at this point. We really needed to make the chase work, and we really needed to enlist the help of these other teams. And this ended up being our downfall for this race. So quick aside, this isn't really a choose your own adventure scenario, but one thing that I think Wout would have done is he would have gotten his team and he himself would have been taking short pulls. So if you watch any of the big like crosswind stages, they're always taking very, very short pulls in the pro peloton. And the reason for that, I think, is when you take a short pull, you're kind of constantly accelerating and the group is kind of going at this constant speed. Whereas if you take a long 30-second pull, like what we were doing in this race, you maybe have like 15 seconds of acceleration, and then you have 15 seconds where you're like decelerating because your power is dropping and the wind is having more of an effect on you. So take short pulls if you're in a crosswind. Give me a like on the video if you agree with my crosswind short pull top tip. But all right, so we are coming down to it. We have 12 minutes left. We need to pull this breakaway back. I'm committed to chasing. And what's going to happen here is this Mike's Bikes rider is going to pull off, and then this Alta Velo guy is just going to attack over him. So what would you do? Would you follow this or just let it go and then take your pull and try to increase the average speed of the field? Sigh. So I follow this and I'm wasting all this energy, and don't get me wrong, everyone has the right to race the race however they want, but this guy is like super strong, and if he just took a pull and then I took a pull and then my teammate Travis took a pull, we would get really, really close to that breakaway, and then maybe he could attack up to it or attack over it and we could all be playing for the win rather than sixth place. So I think for this I should have just let him go, basically just ignored him, and then just taken my normal pull that would have increased the average speed, would have got us closer to the field, because now we're all getting countered and everything. And basically what's going to happen, and I won't even really show it because it's boring, but I'm going to chase back Ryan, who just attacked over me. And if we just all banded together, like me, the Alta Velo guy, and Ryan, we would have got the break back. I almost guarantee it. But that's racing. That's kind of how it is. And let's just check out how this race finished. Oh man, so this is almost like cringe to watch because everyone is just still attacking over each other and not chasing and not being concerted. But yeah, this is why it's so important to not miss the break. I'm yelling like, go, 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 like this ain't working. But yeah, so I'm just gonna take basically one last hero pull and just try to get as close to the break as we can. And I think we get them within like maybe 5 seconds. I think they started playing cat and mouse. But yeah, like I just said, this is why it's so important to not be put on the back foot by missing the break. I think this is like, I said it in my Strava post, like what's more of a golden rule? Don't chase your teammates or don't miss the break. I think don't miss the break is more of a golden rule. But we learn, and yeah, this is an early season race. You know, we were all kind of like training through this race anyways. Of course we want to win. Oh, look who I'm chasing back. It's the Alta Velo guy, who's wicked strong, by the way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up if you like the What Would Wout Do. It does take a little bit longer to edit, so I'd appreciate any feedback. And yeah, I hope you learned something. I basically just take this last hero pull. You can see the break right there in the distance, and then I just roll it in. So good training. It's a bummer it didn't work out, but yeah, that's racing. You know, everyone has their own tactics, and it sucks when people don't play into your own hands, but that's what makes it challenging. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.